Welcome back to a new video and to the battle of the century between Mark Zuckerberg's new Thread app and Elon Musk's Twitter. Don't worry, this video is not going to be a news announcement. I'm gonna leave that to the professionals.
Mark Zuckerberg announcing Threads reached 10 million signups in its first 7 hours.
You get just a quarter of Instagram users to sign up for this thing. It's already larger than Twitter.
Elon Musk is threatening to sue the rival platform. Musk tweeting, "Competition is fine, cheating is not."
In this video, I just want to have a chat with you and just express my opinion about this whole situation and to go over the side-by-side comparison between the two apps, to see similarities and differences not only in how they look, but also in how they handle your personal data. So if we have a look here at this side-by-side comparison, at the first glance, they seem incredibly similar. But there are subtle differences that personally I believe makes one app more enjoyable or user-friendly, if you will, than the other one. For example, on the Threads app, I like how they added this top bar over here that you can tap and scroll to the latest threads in your feed. It's such a small detail, but I think that it adds a lot to the overall user experience, especially after you spend a ton of time scrolling through your feed and you just want to check the latest threads. And another thing that I found really intuitive is this profile image cluster over here. Not sure why, but I instinctively knew that if you want to dive deep into a thread, all I need to do is just click on this profile image cluster and that will allow me to see what everyone is writing in that particular thread. Same thing with this bar. I really like the fact that they are using this subtle line to frame the content of the thread so that you can clearly see where a thread starts and where it ends in your feed. Unlike on Twitter, for example, where the only visual cue between tweets is this very subtle line. And you can argue that the profile image and the account name does the exact same thing, but these are the only visual cues that you have that show you where a tweet starts and where it ends. Again, this may not be a big thing for the general public, but for me as a designer, these small details make the whole user experience when using Threads just a bit more enjoyable. Now, if we look at the icons, again, we can see these subtle differences. The most obvious ones are the size and the placement. Although personally I lean more towards how Threads have designed this, I think they missed a great opportunity. Because if you hold your phone, you will see that it's a lot easier to tap something on the right side rather than the left, because on the left side you have to thumb stretch. So I'm not sure why they placed the icons on the left side, but probably that's why we don't get so many likes on our posts. It's just very hard to reach and nobody can be bothered. But I think that the biggest difference by far between these two apps is something that you cannot even see, and that is the white space. If you look closely, although they look very similar, if we were to draw some rectangles, let me just toggle them on as I draw them previously, you will see that the spacing on Threads, it's a lot more strategic. They use spacing not just to stop elements from sticking to each other, but to visually group elements together and to create this visual hierarchy. And the same goes if you look at the profile page. Because of how they utilize this white space, the profile page seems a bit more structured. And to me at least, it feels easier to understand and to identify individual elements. And because of all of this, I personally believe that the overall user experience is a bit better on Threads rather than on Twitter, at least in my opinion. But there is a dark side to this as well. You see, when we are talking about user experience, we're not talking only about how things look. We also need to consider how things work and perform. And while exploring the ins and outs of these two apps, I discovered a rather interesting thing when it comes to personal data processing. What I found out is that Threads, unlike Twitter, is linking all the data that it's collecting to you as an individual, including health and fitness and financial information. Now, I won't get into this as I know opinions are very polarized when it comes to this. Personally, I believe that each one of us is more than capable of taking their own decisions. But because I care about you guys and I want to provide as much valuable information as I can through these videos, I just wanted to point this out so that you know. So let me know in the comments, what's your opinion about this new Thread app? Do you prefer Threads over Twitter? Do you prefer both? You don't like either of them? Just let me know in the comments. Let's start a conversation because I would really like to hear your thoughts. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for spending time. Thank you for watching the videos. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you pretty soon in the next video. Till next time, I'm just gonna wait for Zuki and Mark to, you know, sell some tickets in Vegas so they can start that cage fight. I would love to see them fight in a cage. Yeah, that would be pretty interesting. But yeah, let me know in the comments, would you pay for something like that? We live in a crazy world, but till next time, take care and happy designing. Bye. On Threads rather than on Twitter, at least in my opinion. Twitter. How do you say Twitter? I don't know. It's just so we say Twitter. It's a Twitter, you know. It's a Twitter or thread. It's a thread or Twitter. I don't know.